Gravure printing is a technically complex process that leads to exceptional color consistency while permitting very high printing speed. This video shows the process from the receipt of designer artwork until the gluing of the shells. Upon receipt of the designer artwork, the electronic image is color separated and adapted to press tolerances. The production-ready artwork is then proofed to ensure a perfect match with the designer artwork. Before proceeding with the engraving, the cylinders have to go through many preparation phases. Every color on a design calls for a separate cylinder. The process starts with nickel electroplating on a steel base cylinder, which is then followed by copper plating, which creates the engraving surface. The copper-plated cylinder is then polished and ready to be engraved. The cylinder is engraved by a diamond stylus that creates cells in the copper surface at a rate of more than 3,000 cells per second. The depth and width of every cell is strictly controlled since it conditions the quantity of ink it will later carry. The engraved cylinder is chrome-plated to act as a protective layer against friction. The copper surface alone would not withstand the friction of the doctor blade, which is a steel device that removes all the excess ink from the printing cylinder. Engraved cylinders are inspected to ensure the cells and walls conform with the ink that will be used. A printing test is then conducted on each cylinder. In the gravure printing process, board is web-fed into the press. The engraved cylinders are flooded with low-viscosity ink and wiped clean with a doctor blade. Only the ink trapped inside the recessed cells pattern remains on the cylinder. The board to be printed goes between the impression roll and the cylinder. The ink is then deposited on the board. The cylinders are placed into cassettes before being installed into the press. Every dispenser along the press is filled with alcohol base ink. The ink viscosity is continually monitored to achieve consistent color density over the print run. The press uses 220 meters a minute of the finest tobacco-grade board. Press registration is captured by an electronic device on each station. A water base overlacquer is applied at the end of the print run. A sophisticated system scans every pack to detect and remove any packages with printing imperfections. A state-of-the-art rotary cutting unit delivers more than 7,500 packs a minute made to the exacting dimensional tolerances required by our high-speed packers. All board scrap is recycled. Printing consistency is continually monitored. The registration of every press station is centrally controlled to within 0.2 of a millimeter. The press finally makes bundles that are palletized before being shipped or glued. During the press run, color is strictly monitored through spectrophotometer sampling analysis. All shells are glued at the printing facility. The machine glues 220,000 shells per hour. An electronic device captures glued shell dimensions and automatically rejects the bad ones. Shells are then put into trays and shipped on a pallet at our facilities.